check because you should, check because you must, but never check because you can. It's tempting to deliver a check and attack your opponent's king, but you only want to do this when the check clearly makes your opponent's position worse or improves your own position. In this position, black's king is safely castled, and white is prepared to castle on the next turn. Does it make sense to check the white king? Absolutely. After rook e8 check, black's rook is now on an active, open file, attacking white's king. In order to not lose material, white's king must move. After king f1, white's king has lost the right to castle, so not only is the king poorly placed, notice that white's rook on h1 will have trouble getting into the game. In this case, the check improved black's position and made the opponent's position worse. Let's take a look at some examples when you shouldn't just check because you can. The opening phase of a chess game is all about controlling the center, developing your pieces quickly, and bringing your king to safety. With black to move, is it a good idea to check the white king with queen a5? Black should focus on continuing to develop pieces toward the center and preparing to castle the king. But after queen a5 check, black attacks white's king with the powerful queen, but now white can combine attack and defense with bishop d2. Black's check has only helped white continue to bring pieces into the game, and since black's queen is so valuable, black will be forced to waste time retreating the queen now that it is attacked by the bishop. In the last example, black's careless check lost time and allowed the opponent to gain a lead in development. Not a good thing, but also not the end of the world. In this position, a check will be disastrous. White has just played e5, attacking black's knight. Black should move the knight to safety, but when you are attacked, it is tempting to counterattack your opponent. Black can check white's king with bishop b4. Is this a good idea? After bishop b4 check, if white blocks the check with a piece, such as the knight or the bishop, black can trade the bishop for that piece and will be just fine. Can you find a stronger way to block the check for white? If you found c3, great job. White blocks the check and attacks the bishop with a pawn, so both black's knight and bishop are attacked by pawns, which means black is going to lose a piece. As we can see, playing a check without a clear plan can make a difficult situation much worse. Let's take a look at one more example together. In this position, white's bishop on d3 and queen on c2 are lined up and pointing at the h7 square. White can check black's king with bishop h7. Is this a good idea? Remember, only check your opponent if it makes their position worse or your position better. White should simply continue to develop with knight f3, bringing the knight closer to the center and opening up the diagonal for the bishop on c1. Instead, after bishop h7 check, black's king is forced to the corner with king h8. Although black's king was forced to move, how can white continue with the attack? White doesn't have any pieces to add pressure to black's king, and notice that the bishop that delivered the check is out of play and only has one escape route. If white isn't careful, this bishop might get trapped by a future g6 move, disconnecting the bishop from the queen. Now that you've learned the importance of only checking when you have a good reason, let's check your knowledge in the challenges.